Alright guys, Kevin here again. I wanted to talk to you guys about this video. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Steven Crowder, self-described comedian and talk show host with Levin TV, went out and infiltrated Antifa. Now, you guys might have seen it. These people were violent, they were dangerous, but they're Antifa, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're not the people who are really going out and causing problems. And of course, it was enough for them to report to the police, and they were doing stuff that was very dangerous and very disturbing. But I'm going to talk to you about how this is just the very tip of the iceberg, and there's much more to be uncovered. So what happened in the video is Steven Crowder, who's very recognizable, decided to dress up his assistant Jared to go in with an Antifa group in Berkeley who were protesting the Milo Yiannopoulos free speech event week. And they did get in, and they did it by making fake YouTube and fake Facebook, fake Twitter accounts, and they made them over a period of months or years so they couldn't be traced back and say, oh, well, this is a troll account or this is somebody trying to get into the group. Once they got into this group, and the group was just a few people, it wasn't a huge group, but that's the way Antifa works. They always have their organizers and their sort of shock troops, and they color code these people. So the people who are, let's say, red are your organizers and your people who are willing to commit violence. And then they have the yellows, who are people loosely associated with the reds, but not willing to commit violence. And then you have the greens, which are basically just a bunch of people who are brainwashed and what you would call useful idiots. Well, they're all useful idiots, but that's another story. So these people he was in with were what you would call the reds, or at least the greens, or yellows. And they got in. They used this app that actually went in and coded the phone or encrypted messages. And so the messages would delete as soon as they got sent. But Steven Crowder was able to get this around very easily by taking a photo of the messages on the phone with another phone, which tells me these aren't really the people who we need to be worried about, because there are lots of hardcore communists out there and lots of revolutionary communist groups. And there's groups like Red Guard, like SDS, like IWI, and these people pose a real threat to our nation. They're revolutionary groups who are bent on the destruction of America and the overthrow of the American government. And they've been around for a long, long time. These groups that I'm concerned about have been working in subversion and violence and different military tactics for decades now, and they're very good at it. They meet in places like basements. I talk a lot about David Horowitz. He talks about how his parents were revolutionary communists, and they would meet in basements and at local bars, and they would have meetings about how to infiltrate institutions and overthrow the government, even making bombs, and they would train with weapons. These people are hardcore, and there's a lot of them out there. These kids that Steven Crowder got in with, most of them are just LARPers who frenzy themselves up and convince themselves that everybody who they disagree with is violent or racist, and we've seen this a lot lately. We saw this video recently of the woman who took the guy's Trump hat and was convinced and tried to convince other people that wearing a Trump hat is advocating genocide. So you can see where this is dangerous, but these people were bad enough. I mean, they had guns, they had knives, they gave a knife and an ice pick to Jared Crowder's assistant, and that's actually when they stopped and called the police. And they were willing to do violence. They even said in there that the right does not know what they have planned. And that's very concerning, because I'm sure these people are in contact with these major communist revolutionary groups. And we did see recently at Berkeley a video of some people gathered in a communist bookstore, a store that was called like Revcom Books, and they were having a meeting in secret. And these are college professors. These are leaders and city councilmen and women. These people have clout. They control police forces. They are not just some LARPing joke like most people think of Antifa. But these people are controlling the people who are LARPers, and these people who they are controlling, they're useful idiots, are becoming more and more violent. And we see this November 4th thing that people are talking about. I did a video on that. You can watch that. But I want to wrap this up by talking about something else that happened in the video. And that was in the end, Steven Crowder actually talked to the police. Then Crowder approached a journalist. Actually, not just one journalist, but several. But in the video, he approaches a journalist from the local Fox affiliate and says, here, I have this video of these people planning violence. I have a video of them telling my producer that they have guns, AKs, and illegal sawed-off shotguns. And we have video of the police arresting them. And the journalist from the local Fox affiliate said, good luck with that. I don't want it. And he said he was working on real news. So what's real news? Well, that probably means he was trying to find any video he could of somebody on the right punching somebody back or defending themselves so he could paint it as right-wing violence. Meanwhile, all the evidence he would ever need and all the story he would ever need, because this has gone very viral, it's a big story, and he could have had access to it, but this just shows us that the media, our corporations, they're not concerned about profit or the truth or anything else that you would think that Americans and capitalist companies would be concerned with. They're not. They're out for an agenda. And that shows you that these communists, who I talk about all the time, who are subversive, have subverted most of our institutions. And it's very dangerous, and we need to do something about it. And I've always talked about this. We can talk to our kids, get them to go out and subvert institutions also. We can demand that these people get fired, like I am with Spencer Rapone, the West Point graduate turned Army officer who said communism will win and wrote it inside his cap. We can go out and do action like this, demand that they get removed from any kind of leadership positions like I have with Rapone, demand that they get out of our schools like Yvette Falarca, who's been arrested countless times but still is able to teach in a California middle school, demand that we have better accountability within our schools from the principals, and whenever we see the injustices done towards people on the right, like this video we saw of the girl taking the guy's hat, we demand action. But finally, we need to get in these institutions ourselves. If it's too late for us, encourage your kids to do so, but we need to go in, demand more from our media, demand more from our corporations, and we need to be on the phone all the time calling people and raising the kind of hell that the left has over the past 20 years, because that's how we win the culture war. That's how we win this without violence, and these people will try to bring violence at some point, and we don't want that. So we need to win this culture war, or we'll be having a real war. And so you guys go out, watch the video again, share it with your friends, look into my video about Spencer Rapone, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Howdy.